Alright, so my name is Karen and McIntyre. I'm a personal trainer, and that's how I ended up here. I'm Judy's trainer. So a couple of things about my qualifications. I'm also an AFL, there's all these initials. I'm an AFL certified fitness instructor. I do group classes as well as personal training one-on-one, where I'm a Canadian-wide certified trainer. So if you have any questions about fitness, health, anything like that, that's not what today's talk is about, but I'm more than happy to answer them. But in my one-on-one time with people, it's been very transformative for them. So I'm sure a lot of you have been on the health journeys for a while. I know Judy's been here for a few years now. And people start to really change. I mean, you're always going to be who you are, but they start to be really empowered when they become stronger, especially women. They start to do things, and just, it's such a gradual, subtle thing. I don't think some of them even see it. They start off and they're tired, and they're not happy with the way they look, and they're not happy with how they feel. And got one woman, I was sort of thinking of different clients, and one woman, she's lost 80 pounds with me, and she's gone from fairly quiet stay-at-home mom to, you know, on the weekend she's out in the mountains every time, hiking and having all these fantastic adventures. And I mean, she's still who she was, but she just has more energy at the end of the day to take on a little bit more, do a little bit more, and it's amazing to watch. It's amazing to be part of that. And so I thought what would be probably the best tool that I could give everybody is, it's a really simple tool. It's called SMART goal setting. And you can use it, you don't have to use it for weight loss, because as a trainer, I try not to encourage people. I know people do come to me and they want to lose X amount of pounds, but I find that when you're talking about losing weight, it's an away from. You're not happy with where you are, and you're trying to move away from something. And I always find it's much more effective if we move towards something. So that's where SMART goal setting really works for me emotionally. I can resonate and connect with something I'm trying to achieve. And then once you know you're going towards somewhere, it's easy. It's just like a roadmap. It's like the game you play. You know what you need to do, and you just sort of start building the little habits that you need to change into it. So that's kind of what SMART goal, and you can do it for business. You can do it for your personal life. This is actually a business tool. It's not a fitness tool, but it really does work really well for people making any changes whatsoever. So that being said, I see a lot of you brought pens, but I have pencils and pens if you want it. And I'm just going to hand a piece of paper for everybody, and we can just sort of go. So this is what SMART goal setting is. I didn't realize I had a chalkboard, visual aids. So, does anybody have any questions? I can speed talk quite well. So I'm used to being in front of groups of people too, so I can just keep going. So I'm just going to run through SMART goal setting. Here we go. So it's specific, measurable, attainable, relevant. That's a change that I like to use. A lot of people say realistic. I like relevant and time. I'm going to run through everything, and then we're going to start talking about it. And I'd really like it if everybody would help me out and give me some suggestions of what would work for them. So I'm not just going to talk for the whole time. I need some feedback to sort of figure out where everybody's going with it. So I'm going to give you a really specific, something I just achieved last week. I ran a half marathon. So it was on November 11th, 12th, 13th. Measurable, I know how far it's going to be. Is it attainable? For me, that is something I can do quite comfortably. So yes, like that's within my skill set. Not everybody does have that skill set, and as a trainer, I can help people build, but they need longer time to do it. Is it relevant? For me, running the half marathon is something I do with my husband. I do it with my youngest son. We really enjoy it. It's really nice to get out of Edmonton in November. For me, I'm not from here, and I find November a very dark month. And time, it takes a certain amount of time, and I have to put aside this time to train. So that's just a really simple way of saying there's a physical goal that I have, break it down into bits and pieces. Most people don't have that kind of physical goal. Most people have different kinds of goals. Trying to think of things that people have given me. A lot of people, it's kind of an interesting thing when I first meet people and we talk about goal setting with everybody. A lot of people want more energy. They want to feel healthier. They want to, this is going to be an odd one. I hope you can, and this one appreciate. They don't want to be mindful of their bodies. They want to just be able to get up, go, not look in the mirror, not worry about how things fit, not be self-conscious on the beach. They just want to have that, just be comfortable in their own skin feeling. That's something I get a lot. Judy had one. She was going on a trip. She wanted to be able to walk comfortably when she was out traveling, so that was a great one. So some of these are far away, and what helps is when I first meet somebody, we try and talk about, you know, what do they want in a year's time, something far away, kind of their ultimate achievement goal, and then we break it down to a 6-month goal, and then we start breaking it down really into the nitty gritty, and we talk about what are you going to do this week, what are you going to do tomorrow, what are you going to, you know, and when are you going to do it, and we really just break it down. Have you been dealing with this with your food measurements or anything like that? So this is not entirely new for everybody. So since you're all here, I know that you're all ready to change. You're all at a point of transformation. Otherwise, you wouldn't be somewhere like this, doing this. So does anybody mind sharing their sort of long-term goal, what they're moving towards? So it's looking at me blankly. Are we ready to go?
Okay, I'm diabetic, but I don't take insulin. I am on the pill now.
Okay, are you type 1 or type 2?
Good.
Type 1 or type 2?
Type 2.
Okay.
And my doctor says you lose weight, and then if you lose a more weight, like at least 20 to 30 pounds off, then you won't have to take the pill anymore.
Absolutely. That's a fantastic goal. That's something you can measure. I've had people come off their blood pressure medicine, you can definitely reverse type 2 diabetes. You cannot reverse type 1 diabetes. It feels that
if I lost weight, then I would most likely be off the pill.
Okay, so that's emotionally, you can really connect with that, right? So how long have you been struggling?
Well, I've been struggling for the last 4 or 5 years now.
Okay. So are you progressing? Are you making the achievements you want to make?
When I first joined TOPS, I lost 22 pounds, but then I'm starting to gain more.
Okay. And your food tracking?
No, I'm not as much. I have been trying to in the last little while, but not as much.
I think that's hard to say because you've been there might be other things, but just top of my head, my first thing I recommend for people is to food log and food log at the moment you're eating it, not what we kind of remember we did at the end of the day, because we gloss over that second glass of wine. At least I know I do. I'm sure you guys don't. I'm sure you're much better than I am.
With me, it's sweets, it's chocolate.
So yeah, you probably need to build some strategies around that. So you've got a very specific goal. That's a long-term goal though, right? To lose 20 or 30 pounds. I usually suggest a pound a week. Is that on track with what sort of TOPS is? Also, yeah. So you're 20 to 30 weeks away from hitting your goal if everything goes extremely smoothly. And I know that you're all here going, it doesn't go smoothly at all. It's not a smooth path.
No.
So what I would probably suggest is rather than food tracking and watching your food, you lose weight in the kitchen. That's the bottom truth of it. But perhaps what you also want to think about would be increasing your exercise. And the reason we talk about that, other than I really like it, so that's sort of my thing. But no, the reason I would encourage you to consider exercise, there's two sides of the coin. One is we have what's called a resting metabolic rate. So just me walking around and talking and not doing what I normally do, I burn around 1,500 to 2,000 calories a day. So if you plug in MyFitnessPal, which is a great app, and I recommend it to everybody, and you tell them how tall you are, it'll just calculate it out for you. You tell them your age, your weight, your height, and then they ask you to rate how active you are. They'll give you it's a guesstimate, like it's not exact. Everybody's body's different. We all have different metabolic conditions and rates and stuff. But generally, let's say you would burn, I'm just going to use you an example. So let's say just whatever you did today, you burned 1,500 calories. If you ate, as we all know, 2,000 calories, then what are we guys saying it? Are we calling it the gains and the losses? Then you're gaining. You'll gain if you have excessive through your eating and lifestyle. If you're in excess of 3,500 calories a week, that's a pound-ish. right? And what we talk about when we talk about weight loss is deficits. So we want people to eat a little less, exercise a little bit more, and create a 500 calorie deficit every day, and then lose the pound a week. So we don't want you to do it just through diet. We want you to do it through lifestyle too, because I'm sure some of you have probably done this awful roller coaster where you lost the weight, gained the weight, lost.
Oh yeah.
And
yo-yo syndrome.
it's probably the hardest thing. It's harder. I think it's harder than just gaining weight. I think if you start doing this, it's incredibly challenging. And that's why we talk about exercise and building lean muscle mass, because it's actually our muscles that help rev the engine and help our cardiovascular system, and that boosts our metabolic rate. So when I talk about that, when I talk about revving the engine, it's not that 200-300 calories you burn in the gym. It's the muscles you gain that helps your body work more efficiently, that helps it burn it throughout the day. I have so wandered off SMART goal setting, so I am going to circle back to it. That's a really emotional goal, to try and get off your medication. I like that one. So is it measurable? It's a little tricky, because we believe that if you lost 30 pounds, you should be able to come off your medication, but there's no guarantee, right? So attainable, probably, but not as solid as perhaps we want. Relevant, of course. Time is also, it's a little too far away. So what I would suggest is, instead finding something that maybe I would train for a diabetic walk. They must have one. They have walks for everything. So I'd look online, see if there's a walk, maybe a 5K walk, and then start, if walking is your thing, you might like something else, but then I would start training for that. And you're still moving towards your ultimate goal of losing the weight, but you found something that's probably, I'm just making this up, I'm not sure that this really works for you, but you would find something like that that is attainable, because you could train yourself to walk for 5K. I don't know at all if you could do that or not right now. Is it relevant? It moves you towards your ultimate long-term goal? It probably has a specific time, like it'll be sometime in the summer. And measurable, yeah, I mean, you could walk maybe a kilometer now, 2 kilometers in a few months, you know what I mean? So you could build towards it. So that's kind of how you take a long-term goal, like in a few years you could probably lose that much weight, and how to break it down into something a little bit quicker. And what I also like is, when you've hit one of your goals, is to take a week off and then turn around and set the next goal to move you closer to it.
Like in 4 or 6 months from now, like 10 pounds.
For me, it's good. Okay, I don't think about weight loss. Weight loss is a byproduct of you becoming healthier. So what are you going to do? The measurements I'm looking for people to set the goal for is, if your goal is to be fitter and healthier, losing weight's a byproduct. So what can you do to make yourself healthier? Because that's really, I think, what I'm hearing you want to say, right? It's not so much you want to lose the weight, it's that you want to come off your medication, so you need to become healthier. Part of that's losing weight. What else can you do to become healthier? Would be sort of
to exercise more.
Of course my answer is to exercise more, but maybe that's not, and it's not always the right answer for everybody. Some people need to learn how to de-stress. Some people need to learn how to sleep properly. There is different aspects to health, but that would be, because you're diabetic too, I would say probably exercise would be definitely something I would recommend.
And that's what I don't do. I don't exercise as much as I used to.
So something to think about, and I would so now I would challenge you and say, what would be something that you would like? First, the most important part for exercise is to find out what you like, because then you're going to do it. So maybe this is a good fit. Maybe I was just, find a fun walk that you want to train towards, and then you've got a reason to, because it's cold and dark out. I know you guys haven't noticed, but I'm just going to let you know that it's kind of grim out there. But this will give you a reason to go get a membership in a gym with a treadmill or a track, or get some music and just do it in your house, whatever you need to do. But you set the goal first, and then you know that, okay, I've signed up for this event. It never really costs that much, but it costs you $50. So you're like, oh, I'm not going to waste that money, and then you just have something to train towards. Does anybody else have something that's kind of come to mind while we've been talking?
Karen,